Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Ringside is Wrestling. We are back with a good old regular of ours, a man we love and adore very much, none other than Mr. Jon Draper. Jon,
how you guys doing? I feel like a thumb. I feel like a thumb in between two long-haired hippie freaky people with you guys. You guys, your hair is so long now, Callum. Oh my God.
It's getting there, isn't it?
Good Lord. Lord, Rivers, his hair is longer than yours. How did you allow that to happen?
I don't know how that happened, really. Like, my hair's getting gray as fuck as well. I mean, look at this.
Jamie better be at the barbershop right now. That's all I got to say.
You're a silver fox now, Rivers. It suits you.
Rivers looks like he's been famous for like 20 years and he's just over it already. Like, over it.
Well, my absolute minuscule pissy bit of fame that I've received so far, I already am over it, to be honest with you. So I don't know how people do this on a proper scale. So it's sounds
like one of those good problems.
Yeah, well, yeah. Lots of drunk people at gigs going like, you're the best, you, and I'm like, all right.
Do you like when they come up from behind you and just start touching you and grabbing you? Isn't that great?
Yeah, it's a little weird. Yeah, I had a guy.
Isn't that wonderful? Like grown men drunk coming over you, putting their arm around you. I just want to.
Yeah.
I don't know you. You're making me uncomfortable. Thank you.
Yeah. I had that last night. Some guy said that I looked. What did he say? He said that I was really elegant. You know, because I was dressed like suited and booted. I had my suit jacket on and my black shirt and all this stuff. And he said that I looked incredibly elegant.
Well, that's a good guy. Nobody's ever said that to me.
He slurred those words. You know, it was very uncomfortable for a moment. So, yeah.
Sounds like a good prop. Well, good for you being.
Yeah, I suppose. Well, look, if he was, a 5'9" Betty Page looking woman, then it wouldn't be an issue, Jon, at all. But he was.
That'll come. This is the warm up. It starts with the drunken lads, and then it works its way into the the ladies.
Okay. I'll hang fire then. I'll see how it goes.
And so then you get to be my age. You get to be ignored by everybody. So it's pretty great.
Well, that's going to be great. Obviously I big timed you last time, Jon. So I haven't spoke to you, I think, since probably SummerSlam. So how was your Christmas? How was your New Year? How was your wife's birthday?
Great. For Christmas, all I wanted was for you not to no-show, and I didn't get that. So I didn't get.
Oh, Jon.
And then when New Year's, when they said, think about your goals for the new year, I said, next time I go on Ringside, I want all three of them to be there. So I didn't get that either. Yeah. So I guess maybe for Valentine's Day I can make a second wish. Who knows? I'll make another wish.
For Mania, all four of us will be here for Mania. I can promise you that.
No, we won't.
No, we won't. We won't. Jon, I'm lying.
Callum's like, no,
we're not.
Let's be real.
Jamie will likely bail. I bail for good reason, but it's.
I missed you. Well, send my best to Jamie, of course.
No.
Okay, no.
He has to attend to get the best wishes.
Of all your voices, I could probably imitate. Jamie's would be probably the easiest one for me. I feel like he channels Fat Bastard from
yes.
Austin Powers movies.
Like,
Jon, thanks for coming on. Right? Yeah. He's all excited. But I have to hear it more. I haven't heard it in a while.
Oh, I love old school wrestling. Me NWA.
Oh, I love old school, like Mike Awesome. Well, I love it.
That's it.
He's so great. He's like a Care Bear. I love him. He's the best. Jon, thanks for calling me a Care Bear. That's how it would happen. But, we were going to do last week for the Rumble weekend.
I think we decided it's best to do something a little bit different. We'd usually review the full show, but with it already, weeks past, maybe let's just focus on the main event of what happened at the Royal Rumble and discuss what could happen with the Bloodline leading into WrestleMania, since that's like the hottest story in wrestling right now. Arguably.
So what you're saying is then that the Mountain Dew.
I thought we were doing a whole review of the Mountain Dew match.
Yeah. That's what I meant. I mean, what did you guys think I meant? That Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn?
Like the hottest wrestling angle. I mean, come on now,
I just want to say one thing. The pitch black match might have been shit, but it was wrestle bollocks, and for that reason, I enjoyed it. And I thought it looked aesthetically amazing.
Now, let me ask you guys there. Had you been there in the crowd, do you think you would have liked it? Had you been there?
No.
Would you have been like, oh my God, I just came all the way over to this country for this crap?
I just can't believe after all the hype of getting Bray Wyatt back, and I was genuinely happy to have him back. It's just back to the same old. It's back to the same old shit with him.
Yeah,
same old shit.
I say bring back the red light. Fucking hell. I mean, like, you know, let's.
Well, you know, I don't know if you guys heard. I ended up on Soup that night, like at 2 a.m. Right here. And you know, for me, like I talked about this a little bit, but I didn't really flesh it out well enough because it was like the middle of the night, you know. But when the match started, when the Rumble started, I liked the men's match, like maybe halfway through, but I started to get a little, like when it was very big guy intensive, when you had like Drew and Sheamus stand there and Bobby Lashley coming out and Brock coming out, and it's like Cross coming out. It's like you have all these big scary dudes, and you don't think any of them are going to win. But when Brock got eliminated fast, that was shocking to me. I did not predict that. I didn't predict Cody to be 30. I don't think anybody had that at all, as far as I know. I don't think you guys had that at Cody at 30. It just seems unlikely.
I don't think he should have been 30, to be honest with you.
I don't think so at all. I don't think he should. In the middle, just to build up some tension. And then, of course, Gunther just, you know, there's so much you could say about that. But I felt like I was halfway through that match. I was like, I'm really into this. I'm really excited. And then I didn't think Cody was going to get thrown out at 30. You know what I mean? It was just like, oh, Cody gets a kind of easy win here a little bit. You know, like he just got to deal with Seth.
It seemed a bit cheap.
Yeah, it seemed a bit cheap. So that set me kind of, that brought me down. That brought me down. And then the dark match, the space laser match happened, and I was just like, and then I'm like looking around the room. I'm like, what are they trying to do to me? You know, it's like you had me in the middle of the room. I was like, yes, okay, no big surprises. I wasn't upset at the time until I got to genuflect on it a little bit and said, you know, there was no surprise. Like Booker T's not a surprise. Like, I'm just sorry. It's nice. I like him. Nobody dislikes him, but it was like you'd heard rumors that MLW got phone calls, Impact got phone calls, maybe NXT would bring people in. Joe Numbers brought up, I mean, this is, you know, outrageous, obviously, to think now, but maybe Mark Briscoe. Wouldn't that have been something? Mark Briscoe. The place would have lost it. People would have lost their minds. And just what a thing. Even just have him look a little strong and, you know, but nothing. The surprise was Cody was 30. And then Gunther survived, you know, making Gunther look great. I mean, I don't know who didn't think Gunther looked great before this, but I don't know, like that kind of set the tone for me. Like I was like, I'm not really happy.
And they give the heel like the monster baby face.
Yeah, guy. This is what, you know, Joey talked about, like
run through.
It didn't make any sense, you know? Yeah. So like it kind of put me down a little bit and I was annoyed. And, you know, then the Mountain Dew match was just such a, I mean, it just should have been a pre-show thing. That's all, like for promotion.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah. You know, you know, if that was a pre-show promotion thing, people would have got a laugh out of it, took the piss out of it a little bit, and then we would have just moved on. But, you know, it just, I don't know.
Can I just say as well, regarding these sponsored matches, there's meant to be more coming. And I did hear a rumor that at WrestleMania, we might see a Cinnamon Crunch match.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch, yeah.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch, that's it, yeah.
Or like you know, like a mental illness pill or something, like, you know.
Yeah.
I'd love to say I was joking about that, by the way, but that is apparently one of the rumors that we're going to get a Cinnamon Toast Crunch sponsored
Cinnamon
match.
Toast Crunch for Mania?
Yeah, I wasn't joking. No, really.
I'd go with a Viagra match. Where
Viagra on a pole.
Didn't
they just make $5 billion in profit? I mean, didn't they just have a record profit year? Like, what's
going on, right?
Going on, yeah. But what was just so I get an idea of what was your guys' overall thoughts on the night? Like what did you think, Callum, of the overall show? And then we'll talk about the main. But what did you think?
I thought the overall show was solid. I really do. I think the pitch black match, yeah, of course, it was the weakest part, but it was silly enough that I enjoy silly parts of wrestling too. And it was silly enough that I could look at it and go, oh, well, I was entertained slightly. I thought it was very campy, a bit stupid, but I don't always mind that. Like Rivers said previously, Bray Wyatt has just become the same old thing again. And at this point, you have to ask, at what point is it not also Bray's fault?
Oh, he's got a new mask.
Like apparently he has the creative freedom now with his character. And if this is what he's giving us, then it's also his fault now. It's not just how he's being used, it's also his creativeness which is lacking, or at least how it's produced. And yeah, that was the weakest part for me. But I enjoyed the Rumble. I enjoyed both Rumbles. I thought it was a solid show. Could have been better, sure. There could have been more surprises, but Yeah, I thought, and Cody winning. I mean, for me, that was the highlight of the matches. The highlight for me of the overall show was the Bloodline story. But Cody winning, I thought he looked incredible in victory. Sure, he should have entered earlier, but I do think it was the right choice. Cody won. He's the right guy to go against Reigns at Mania, and he was over with the crowd. Did you hear the reaction that Cody was getting?
Yeah.
It was organic.
Yeah,
it was legit.
Right. Yeah, Rivers, you felt the same way? You liked it overall?
No, not really. I liked the main event, and I liked most of the men's rumble. I thought everything else was a bit of a waste of time, really. I think if it hadn't have been for that epic kind of epilogue at the end of the Reigns Owens match, I think the whole night would have been a bit of a thumbs down for me. Yeah. So that really saved it. I mean, the women's title match was a
gosh, that was the best.
a raw match at best. Like, maybe a main event match at best. Really, it was really, really bad. And I mean, how many times are we going to see Alexa Bliss looking at spooky videos and like? Yeah, we've been here. We've been here like 2-3 years ago.
We've gone back 3 years.
Yeah,
and it's not even Vince's fault. No, it's not Vince anymore.
No, it's not. And
it's like Alexa Bliss now. It's like we've got so much better talent now. We don't kind of just get her out of the way. She's old hat now, and like we've got Rhea Ripley, we've got Bianca Belair. Like who's the chick with the huge back?
Nikita Lyons.
Oh no, Nikita Lyons is one of the huge ass. Now I want her to be WWE champion immediately.
Yeah, she's good. Well, she's going to be something. She's good too. Her stuff looks good.
She's amazing. She got me back into watching NXT. No, it's Mercedes. What's her face?
Martinez.
Martinez.
No, you're talking about the tall girl, right?
The tall girl. Yeah.
Raquel.
Yeah. Raquel. Yeah, that's
Raquel's great. Raquel's great.
Yeah, that's
not a good baby face. Needs to be a heel. But it's weird. There's so many people, like you said, like I don't understand. Like you could take these steps forward and then take so many steps back.
Yeah.
It's annoying. It's annoying as a fan,
What did you think, John? What was your favorite part of the night if you had to choose?
Yeah, I talked about this a little bit on the Super. So I like the men's because until I just didn't like the placement of certain things, but I was shocked with Brock's elimination. Was a little shocking. Kofi messing up 2 years in a row was a little, I know it was intentional, but it was shocking. No surprises, none, nobody, except Booker T. That's it. And the placement of Cody. But I was digging it. And I hate Logan Paul, but I love the Ricochet spot. I'm sure you guys love that too. That was
amazing, right?
Yeah.
Place went bananas. I mean, look, the crowd was so invested in the men's match. And then I felt like the life got taken out of them from the Bray thing. And I felt like it stayed there through the women's match, stayed there through the women's rumble. They kind of popped a little bit, but that's a pretty forgettable. The women's was pretty forgettable. Nothing really. Like Joey brought this up on the show and he was like, I'm starting to realize there's such carbon copies of one another that I just don't get. Like there's 5 or 6 people that are the same people.
Yeah.
Have you realized as well, even down to the entrance music? You remember back in the day with the Rumble, you'd hear an entrance and you'd be like, oh my God, it's even Chavo Guerrero. You'd hear the start of his entrance theme and you'd know it's Chavo. Yep. And it was amazing. Even though it was a shit entrance theme, you knew it was Chavo Guerrero. And now everybody has the same stock generic theme. You have no idea who's coming out until it says on the nameplate.
Yeah. It's very weird. Yeah, I mean, for a place that has so many bodies, they don't have a lot of stars.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with the women. We're still relying on Charlotte. They're still relying on Becky. They're still relying on Alexa. They're kind of trying to convince you that Liv is something. It's like, but you have all these other people that are younger that don't have we're still pretending Bailey's heel faction isn't a failure. You know what I mean? Like, Bianca's great, but like, might be time to try something different with the character. Maybe
I agree there, John. I think let's give Bianca a heel turn and bring up something like have you seen Tiffany Stratton in NXT?
Yeah, I like Tiffany.
She's incredible, right?
Yeah, I like her, but there's 10 girls that look like her. You know what I mean?
Yeah, out of all the ones that look like her, though, I think she's the one that really stands out. Like she's the one that could actually be something. Once she gets the character down, I think she's a megastar. And someone like going up against Bianca Belair as a heel.
Oh God, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
I like Bianca as a heel. I think I assume I mean I don't know who Bianca's fighting right now for Mania, but I was disappointed that Rhea is going to fight Charlotte again. I know Rhea needs that win back from Charlotte because Charlotte squashed her push a couple years ago when I thought Rhea was white hot, and Rhea's white hot right now. Like
who's the face going into that? Who's the face going into that?
Well, it's confusing, right? That's what we talked about on this soup. It's very confusing because we've been taught for 6 months that Rhea is a demon woman, ruining families, dominatrix, evil, the most evil woman in the company, manipulative, right?
Yeah,
and
but
like Charlotte,
she had the hero streak in the Rumble as well. Started at number 1, went all the way to the end.
But she just survived, and she looked great doing it. I mean, she's like, I've been a fan of hers for a long time, like, so I'm happy to see that. She organically has become it worked. Like Judgment Day. I'm not the biggest Judgment Day guy, but it clearly is working. I mean, it's working. Dominic just needs to get in better physical shape. And I think he could be something, maybe, but he's in terrible shape. So it's hard to take him seriously when he's standing next to like a Calvin Klein Armani underwear model and a giant guy and a woman who's bigger than him.
I tell you what, this chicken shit.
I mean, like, it's just, and he's got these buggy whip arms and the bad haircut on purpose and the fading tattoos at 20 years old, which I don't know how your tattoos start fading at 19, but whatever. So, he needs to get in better physical shape. But that's working. Like Judgment Day is working. I can't say it's not, I don't particularly enjoy it. It's working. Great. It's working. Rhea is going to fight Charlotte as 2 heels, but one is supposed to be like more. I don't know. And I like stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, but the crowd is going to pull for Rhea 100%.
Yeah, that's what will happen. You're right. The crowd will pull for Rhea Ripley, but they'll present Charlotte as the face. I guarantee it.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you guys, but I know we're going to move on to the main, but Rhea has to win that belt.
She has to.
She has to.
I wouldn't be surprised if she doesn't.
I'm right there with you. I'm worried that she gets
Charlotte. It's like that Triple H reign in the early 2000s. Like nobody could beat him. Nobody beat him. Charlotte's just she comes back, she wins. She, seemingly.
Or was that to just get the belt off Ronda and get Ronda out of the spotlight because everybody was complaining about how bad?
Yeah, well, she was a terrible champ, to be fair. So yeah, she was. Yeah.
Can you imagine a worse environment where the crowd they build up Rhea versus Charlotte? Charlotte does all these promos for the next 2 months and says, "I've already kicked your ass twice, so I'm not really worried. I don't care what you did in the Rumble. I beat you up a bunch. How many more times do I got to pin you?" And then she does it again. And it's just like. I couldn't even imagine the crowd reaction.
Yeah.
Like the crowd would lose them. No. But they love Charlotte. They love Charlotte more than they love life sometimes. Like Charlotte's not there to elevate people. Charlotte's there to be elevated. So I'm worried that all this shit for Rhea, and then they just want to make Charlotte like a white meat baby face again because it's hard for her to be that.
That young up and comer Charlotte Flair, yeah.
Charlotte's never worked as a babyface. That's never worked as a babyface. She's just naturally unlikable.
Yeah, but Rhea's done some unlikable shit. I mean, Rhea ruined Thanksgiving and Christmas for an innocent family.
Well, that's fair enough. Yeah.
What more does she have to do? What is she going to ruin next? Valentine's Day? Oh, okay.
Oh, hang on.
I guess we know what they're doing this week. She's going to ruin Valentine's Day for the Mysterio family.
So if
Ray on Valentine's Day in this mask, like, what are you doing? It's Valentine's Day. Leave me alone. But but the main, I mean, we can go on about the main for sure. Obviously, like the crazy thing about the main to me is like, of course, we're all invested in this. We'd be lying if we said we weren't. But the live crowd acted like a 1980s TV show sitcom where they find the kids smoking or something like you ever watch one of those? I don't know if these were big when you guys were growing up, but you had these TV family shows and then they'd have a special episode where the kid gets drunk or the kid smokes and then the crowd audibly goes,
the Fresh Prince episode where he finds a gun.
The Fresh Prince. Like the crowd gasped.
Yeah.
Like during when they beat up Sami, like it was an audible gasp, and it's just so funny. I can't remember. I mean, maybe you guys might remember, but do you remember a more like emotionally invested storyline where the crowd, like everyone was like this whole situation with Sami? Like, do you even have anything to compare this to this century? Because I can't think of anything.
Personally, no. And what annoys me is, speaking of the reaction thing, I saw a tweet last night which did make me laugh. Someone from Mock Culture, I won't name him, but
for God's sake.
That says everything you need to know. they were saying, oh, AEW gets reactions like this every Wednesday.
Oh, I saw that.
Sorry,
Yeah.
literally every Wednesday. And
Okay.
I just want to say, no, they don't.
No,
no crowd is
if they
this
did, they would be
every
doing
Wednesday.
so much better. I mean, that's kind of the point.
This is the
saw
most
that.
invested I've seen a crowd in maybe my entire life of watching wrestling.
Yeah.
I started watching in 98, 99. And I know it's not as long as maybe you both, but in my lifetime especially, that is the most I've seen a crowd invested.
Yeah. What about you, Rivers? Can you have anything to compare this to? I don't have anything off the top of my head at all.
Maybe the Daniel Bryan stuff from around
But it wasn't as emotional. It was more like
as far as the crowd being behind Daniel Bryan.
When I say the crowd being invested, I mean highs and lows. I don't mean like I mean like no, like the fuck you Roman chants. Yeah, they were deafening. They were deafening chants. It was like tens of thousands of people chanting "fuck you, Roman." Like angry.
A huge difference with this is the Daniel Bryan storyline was like rebelling against the system that WWE had made. You know, they wanted Daniel Bryan to win because he represented what the fans wanted.
Right. Versus what the company wanted. What
the company wanted. Whereas this is just genuinely good storytelling. Like the fans are booing Roman, but at the same time, you love Roman for playing such a good part.
Oh my God, where would they be?
You respect him. No one hates Roman for real, but they hate the character, and that's how it should be.
I got to tell you guys something. I felt that when I heard that chant, like maybe I'm being super hyperbolic, but like the "fuck you, Roman," like it was anger. It wasn't like "fuck you," like ECW, like old school. I mean, it was people were angry. Like I wouldn't be surprised if people started throwing shit and we didn't see it. Like honestly, like it was like Flair coming to your small Memphis town to fight Jerry Lawler, who's the white meat babyface, and just shitting on your town and then beating Jerry up at the end and pile driving him in there, throwing cans and the garbage and popcorn. Like there was something about that ending that it had all the pieces in place. Now, look, obviously we knew this was probably going to happen. I didn't know how we were going to get there, but we knew we were all going to get there, right? But it was just a way to like make Sami look like he made the right choice, and the pop when he hit him with the chair. Guys, we're not seeing this again. This is unique. I wish we did. If we did, we would be going on the air together every week talking about it. You would have a show you would have a show every other day talking about these highlights and these emotions. This was this is going to sound terrible, I know, but this is the closest since pre-kayfabe. Like when I saw like Hulk Hogan, where people like if Hogan got attacked by like Andre and he had the cut on his thing and he pours crucifix off, or like if you look at like 80s like house show type things, like people, or even the NWO for people, like in the beginning, they were angry. They were like, fuck these guys, throw my shit in the ring. Like they were angry, man. Like the crowd is angry now. Like they're angry. And like they played their part perfectly. I mean, one of the best live crowds. I mean, if you could whisk yourself to a show, wouldn't you want to have been in there? Like,
I was thinking about this actually. I was in the Raw After Mania crowd. You remember when Roman Reigns came out after beating, was it Undertaker? And the whole crowd was booing him for like 15 minutes nonstop.
He couldn't talk.
I was there for that. And that was an incredible moment. But I'd trade that to be at that show instead. Because it was such a different reaction. It was just a genuine heel reaction. It wasn't hating a guy because he's a bad wrestler or because it's a smarky thing to do. It was hating him because he's a good heel. And that's something you don't really see nowadays. Like, people hate MJF, but they don't hate MJF, if you know what I mean. Like, they don't hate him enough to consistently boo him. He gets cheers.
Oh, he gets half cheers. He's a tweener. He's a tweener.
Yeah.
Rivers, would you, like, if you could have been there, if you could have been there at Mania, would you maybe pick this? There was just something about this moment, don't you think? Like, I don't think Mania could live up to it. I just don't.
I'm worried. I know they're sticking to the plan with Cody and that's good, because they should stick. If they got a plan, they should stick to it. But I don't see how, when Sami is clearly the hottest babyface in that company, in all of wrestling, how he's not going to Mania to dethrone Reigns. I don't know how that's not happening, really.
Could you guys picture a scenario? I mean, look, we should probably just get into it right now. Could you picture a scenario? I don't think this is happening, where some fuckery happens at Elimination Chamber, right? And maybe Sami gets the pin, and then it gets reversed, like some shenanigan. And then the next night they make a statement. Maybe Triple H comes out and goes for Mania, Cody, Roman, Sami for the unified title.
I did wonder this. I did think this. That's
Do
been
you think this is,
yeah.
do you think this could A, satisfy everybody, and B, not make anybody look like shit? Like, do you think that's the it's not gonna work.
I do think it would make Cody look like shit, because if you did that, I think Sami would have to win. And if Sami has to win, then I think it does sully what Cody's done. And unless the plan would be to turn Cody heel after that, I don't know where you'd go with it.
Could there be a way of getting both the belts off him? Could there be a way of like separating the belts again or something like that, and doing it that way? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
that could be a way of.
And also, guys, you got to remember, like, when is Elimination Chamber? It's coming up, right? 3 weeks.
It's in a couple of weeks, isn't it? Yeah.
Okay. It's in Montreal. You know, like that's that. I mean, everybody's reading into that. It's in Montreal. Screw job. Like, you know, Sami is the conquering baby face. Like, you know, would they have the balls to have Sami get pinned clean and just end it like that in Montreal and steal the heat like that?
John, do you think Jay comes back at Elimination Chamber? I think you mentioned this earlier. Do you think Jay comes back at Elimination Chamber? And if so, do you think he's going to help Sami, or do you think he's going to turn on Sami?
Or he tries to help Sami and it fails.
Costs him them. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, like Sami, like his heart was in the right, I want to stop Roman. I want to stop Roman. Oops, I made a mistake. Because because let me see if we understand this. Sami then gets relegated to fight the Usos, who one of which is already on his side right now, and with KO to get the tag team belts.
Doesn't make sense, does it?
Yes. This is my issue.
And we're all supposed to go.
Sami's not going for the title. If Sami's not going for the title, what's the point? It seems a bit of a relegation to have him go for the tag titles.
Is there any environment where Sami wins in Elimination Chamber? Any environment?
There has to be, right? I want, as a fan, you know, invested. I want there to be a reality where that happens, but I don't know if, even from a storyline point of view, I don't know if it makes sense.
I don't know. It's crazy, right?
I was saying to Rivers as well, you know, I do love that we have no idea how this ends. I love that it's not predictable.
So many avenues can go.
But Jey Uso as well, right? We've got to consider that this is also his story. I was saying to Rivers, this all started with Jey Uso.
It did.
You know, and to me, it has to end with Jey Uso to some degree.
But why would Jey capitulate? Like, why would he capitulate to Roman again, where he's already now publicly multiple times? Like, what would be like, unless Jey and then Jey fails? But it's like, I mean, even if Jey tries to help Sami, and then here's what's more possibility to me, because everybody's like, well, who's everybody going to fight at Mania? And I'm like, okay, but to do this for a tag thing, it's not really worth. Like, it doesn't sell. It doesn't, like, what's the retribution for Sami? I get the tag belts, yay! It's like, you know, Roman just treated me like shit publicly for 6 months, and the Usos were cool with me for the most part, except for Jey, and now I got the tag belts. I mean, do you see maybe singles matches? Maybe like Jey, I don't know, because I thought maybe Jey versus Jimmy.
But what's the retribution for Jey in this? Like, I really do feel like he's a key part of this story, and out of everybody, he needs to get his revenge too. He might not be white hot like Sami, but I do think there has to be an instance where Jey is the one who gets his revenge too, his receipt at the end of this.
Or all right, tell me, all right, what if this happens? They're in Montreal, regardless of how we get there. Let's say the shock of the world, like, people are beyond shocked. Sami and KO figure out, they beat Roman, they pin Roman, Sami gets the belt in Montreal. It's a Sunday night, right? So that means the Go Home Raw is one of the premier Go Home Raws for Mania at that point. It's only a few Raws up for Mania. Now they're out of Canada, and like, Sami's supposed to be this one. Like, they figure out, like, they flip Sami after he beats Roman. Like, you know, like, I'm just trying to figure a way, like, then you have Roman fight Jey. I don't know. And maybe Roman does a job for Jay clean at Mania. That would be amazing with no belt. That's a huge thing for Jay, right?
But then again, where does Cody come into this?
Sami basically says, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like Sami can't, like, if Sami gets pinned at Elimination Chamber, the story's over for Sami.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it has to be.
Right? The story's
he
over.
won't get pinned. He won't get pinned clean though. It will be a dusty finish.
Fuckery. Yeah, if there's fuckery. Yeah, I'm just trying to picture a world where you keep Sami strong. I think Roman's getting a huge vacation. So this is my prediction.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Roman is going to be gone for months.
Yeah.
Roman's dropping the belts to get time off, which he has not had because he just re-signed that contract where he gets a lot of time off, essentially. So I'm picturing that environment. Cody is, I mean, unless, I don't know. Do you think they flip Cody after he wins the belt immediately? I don't.
You know what? I think it's going to happen, and I'll tell you why. Because on the night after Mania, let's say he wins, what's Cody going to do? First of all, he's going to come out, cut a promo, crying. Right. He's going to do the biting lip thing. He's going to he's going to be all emotional, and then he's going to do it the next week and the next week. Right. And I give it a month and a half at most before the crowd completely turns on Cody anyway.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
It's starting on the internet. Have you guys noticed?
That's what I'm thinking, yeah.
Now, why do you think the crowd, can I ask you guys a question? Not that we agree with this, so we don't, but why do you think the crowd is turning on Cody now? Do you think
because they want Sami?
Or the number 30? You don't think part of it was the way he won the Rumble?
Oh, right. Yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, I was thinking like, before he came back at the Rumble, like Sami's so like the number one babyface, I thought they're going to keep pushing Cody, and it's going to be the whole Daniel Bryan thing again, where they're kind of like, oh, you don't want that guy, you want this guy. This is the guy we want, push him. Right. It's the whole Cena thing, like, yeah, we've got John Cena, and people are just going to naturally go against what they want for us, I think. So I would say give it another couple of months, and he's going to be getting booed like Cena was booed 10 years ago.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think it's two reasons. Like you mentioned, Rivers, people want Sami, and wrestling fans have this tendency to say, well, because I want this person, I'm going to be this person instead and turn on this It's not Cody's fault. But if you look at AEW, no matter what Cody did to try and remain face, the fans booed him. It seems just like a natural thing to do with Cody.
Yeah, but it was his character. There was a lot of differences there. He sort of inserted himself in a lot of things. Like it was.
This is true.
It was terrible.
Yeah,
he had a whole team. He would come out with a team of people and a dog and a trophy wife and a manager.
I forgot about that.
It was just like, here's my friend, here's my other friend, here's my dog, here's my wife, here's my babysitter, here's my maid, here's my show. And it's like, I can't relate to you. You're not like the white hot.
We have nothing in common.
Yeah, we have nothing in common. And it was just, and then like he stopped dressing like Steve Harvey and started wearing like $3,000 suits, and like it was very like he wouldn't come out in regular clothes. Like it wasn't and he was still on the internet a lot then, which he has not been on, if you guys noticed, for a very long time. Cody's never on the internet anymore. What a big surprise. So like, yeah, I just think it's different, but I think they're in a quandary. They created a situation that I think they don't have a way to get out of. They can't make Sami a heel right now. If the plan is just like, okay, Sami and KO are going to unthrone we're going to strip the bloodline of every title, and that's going to be that's how the story ends. And it's like, no, because wouldn't Sami and KO just tried to get that belt for a year. Like, just because Cody has it, they don't want the belt no more. And I already have a sick feeling that I know what's happening after this. Roman disappears. There's nothing. There's no post-mortem for Cody and Roman because Roman's taking a huge vacation. I think they'll pull the Usos off TV to just sell this for a while, which would make a lot of sense. Give them some time off. And then Cody's cutting his babyface promo, and like, you don't really know what's going to happen. The crowd's kind of into it. And then all of a sudden you hear, burn it down. I'm like, oh no, we're not doing this again, are we? And Seth comes out.
Right.
And then Seth comes out like, you owe me a match, Cody. Like, I couldn't beat you 2 times. Like,
and then we get 6 matches with Cody and Seth in a row.
And then we get a whole spring of Seth versus Cody. And then, who's like a big tag team. And then KO and Sami are like, hey, we got rid of the bloodline. Isn't that great? And then some shitty tag team that no one gives a fuck about. I mean, maybe it'd be like Los Fantasmas, whatever, but like, okay, that's cool. I wouldn't mind watching that. but maybe they turn, Dawkins and what's this? Like, it's just not, we're not going to get these huge payoffs. I think that we think we're going to get. They're going to give us Cody, tweener Seth versus Cody. And is he just going to pin Seth again and again? Like, it just seems like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. What do you guys think we're going to get? Because that's what I think is going to happen.
I think, you've just planned it. I think that's what's going to happen. It makes so much sense because they've been hinting already that Seth wants another match against Cody. Seth
only now it's for the titles. Now it's for the belts.
Yeah.
Seth wins at Mania against Logan Paul. He says, I won my match at Mania, you won yours at Mania. It's time you give me my rematch. That's it.
Yeah. What do you think, Rivers? I think we just know what's going to happen because the Bloodline has to come off TV after Mania. That's it.
Yeah. They've got to just for a while. Yeah.
They have to.
Yeah.
Right? Rivers, do you see that going down? I see it going down almost like to the T.
Yeah. Well, I'm just trying to think of like who else they've got that could possibly go into.
Who is a formidable tag team? Because it looks like they're pushing the Los Fantasmos dudes as tag team.
The Banger Bros.
The Banger Bros.
Well, yeah, I was thinking Sheamus.
Oh, wow.
Sheamus and Drew McIntyre against
that
KO
might be fun. But they're babies though, so it's like Sammy and KO got to go against heels. Like got to give them, like, if this is all they're getting out of this, guys, then it's got to be white hot baby faces over heels that we want to see get pinned. Yeah, the tag team division kind of sucks right now. Let's be honest, it's not very good.
Well, going back to the Cody thing, I think somewhere down the line, maybe it won't be happening until SummerSlam, but I think I could see him going up against Gunther.
That would be the if Gunther comes out after Mania, be like, listen, I could have won that Rumble. I beat 29. I beat 28 guys.
Ooh.
Because I was under the impression that Gunther was going to drop the IC belt to Sheamus at Mania, give him the rubber match and kind of cap off that feud.
Oh yeah, if he loses though, he can't walk out next day.
We can't have Gunther go up against Cody first because we need Cody to have some defenses.
Which is the Seth BS shit we're going to see for a month and a half.
And then I'd even have Cody be the one to drop it to Gunther. That if Gunther's going to win the championship at some point, have Cody be the one to lose it to Gunther.
Like SummerSlam.
SummerSlam, exactly. SummerSlam loses it to Gunther. He seems like the guy to drop it to. I wouldn't want to see Seth Cody again, but I'd happily see it again if it meant Gunther wins in the end. Mm-hmm. That'd be all right. It's a good prediction, that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I actually have a feeling because if Cody does do this and it's the whole road that we've seen laid out for 2 years or whatever, really for a career for Cody, and it's a big deal, you have to have him keep that belt for a good while because Roman just had it for like 2.5 years. So anybody who drops it after 2 months is going to look so weak. Like it's just, like 3 months, weak, 4 months.
He's got to have it for at least 6 months. So
I think 6 months. I think into the end of the year cycle. Don't you guys think into the Survivor Series type cycle?
Yeah, you might be right there.
Or you turn him in the middle of that run. That seems more predictable. Like, but what would be Cody's catalyst to turn? Like,
what would be great though?
Fans, right?
Made me think, right? What would be the catalyst for him turning? Would be Cody just comes out one day, and he's been doing these crying promos week after week, and it'd be great if he was just like in the middle of crying, and then he like smirks and starts laughing, and just says like,
"I can't do this anymore."
Yeah, you fell for it all. I can't keep this act up anymore. You fell for every tear that I shed.
And then he even could say, "You even chose me over Sammy."
Yeah,
he can play on everybody's emotions. Be like, remember poor Sammy, and you all wanted him to win, but then there was me, but you couldn't pick Sammy over me because I made you believe in me. Like, that's what he could say. That's why I'm better than Sammy.
That would be that simple. It would work.
Yeah, like that. He could say that's why I'm better than Sammy. And where is Sammy now? They just lost the tag team titles to the Banger Brothers. He couldn't even hold on to the tag titles. I've held every title in this company. Like, because Cody's held a lot of belts, right? Cody's held at least the US. Cody's been tag champs, right?
Yeah.
He's been US champ, I think. Was he ever IC champ?
Yes, he was. Yeah.
Brought back the original IC title belt.
Has Cody held every belt but the main?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
God, not a lot of people can say that. How many people can you say that about?
Exactly.
I'd say that.
Now, I think that works completely.
That's a stone they won't unturn for a while. But I love the fact, like, if Cody wins and then just becomes an asshole, he's gonna be like poor Sammy, who you really believed in.
Yeah,
What
you
happened to
told for
him?
every sob story I gave you.
Yeah,
I wanted to make my daddy proud.
yeah, yeah. It's like
Yeah.
every time I saw you get behind Sammy, I thought I could just win them over so easily by bringing up my dad. Like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean,
there
or
we
something
go.
like that. I could just play on them so easily. And like, it's like you don't even believe you guys don't even care about Sammy anymore. And then Sammy's music could come out and be like, they don't believe in me. They still believe in me. Like, like that kind of
And
thing.
then it worked. Yeah, then you can
It
have
totally
Sammy
worked.
Cody. Yeah.
And
There
now
we go.
Sammy's been bruised and he's never won the big one. And people going, Sammy could maybe pin Cody at the Clash of Champions, like, or something down the road. Like,
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
I think Cody needs to hold the belt. I mean, look, do you guys see a scenario where Roman pins Cody?
Oh,
Holy crap.
actually, yeah, I do.
Well,
Yeah.
Holy crap, right?
I would say there is definitely an argument for that.
Do you see a scenario where Roman pins Cody clean?
I do. I really do.
Oh God!
I honestly think it's safe to say never bet against Roman Reigns winning.
Yeah. Can you imagine Roman pins Cody and this comes out the next night? Roman be like, "It's over. There's nobody left. You tried everything."
Wrestling's over.
It's not even fun anymore, Cody. It's not even fun anymore.
It's the season finale of wrestling.
Yeah. Like Roman could just be like, "I'm just taking a break. I'm bored to tears. Like there's nobody. You have nothing here. You got nobody. Like it's a joke."
Yeah, he relinquishes the belts.
Do you think sad Cody is a better? Because now Cody's far from sad, and we're not going to get sad Cody. We're only seeing outrageous, in shape, conquering babyface Cody, world behind him. Left and came back, and blah blah blah. What if he gets humbled? I mean, like if he got like really, really humbled by Roman, and then he can come out and be like, "Look, I wasn't ready. I thought I was ready, but who is ready? Sami Zayn is ready." And like, well, maybe that could. I mean, I don't know. Like, we just have no idea what's going to happen. I mean, I think if I really, really just you put my WWE wrestling cap on, Roman needs time off. Like if he loses, he has to step away. His power's gone. You know what I mean? You need to get the bloodline out of that SmackDown environment. But then we say this, but then who takes over the SmackDown? They're like half the program, right? I mean, who's going to do that?
Here's a question for you. I need, before I forget, speaking of this Roman taking time off thing, right? The bloodline disband, the Usos go their own way, Solo becomes a monster, Roman takes time off. Roman's lost his championships, Roman's lost his family. When Roman comes back, what Roman do we see?
I think more evil. I think an evil Roman attitude. Like it took everything. Look how long it took for my empire to fall. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what I mean? Like no one has ever been on top like me. Like, or Roman comes back. Well, here I got a better idea. Instead of going for the bloodline, Roman just goes for blood. He'd be like, my biggest mistake was relying on the bloodline instead of just relying on the biggest, scariest guys I could find. And then maybe you throw him like a Braun or a Lashley, and now Roman just comes out with like monsters, just absolute monsters. And it's like Roman was dangerous before. Now he's got some of the scariest guys in the company. You give him Cross and you give him like a Cross or let's just say for 6 months, Roman takes like 3 months off because he won't be gone long. He'll be gone a couple of months. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Roman be like, look, Roman blames his family. I blame the Usos for putting Sammy in my way. I blame, Solo for not doing his job when he came in. I'm not going to rely on blood anymore. I'm going to rely on people who get blood, and it's like you just see fucking Cross come out or Osmus or somebody. And it's just like now Roman is more dangerous than ever. They can be like, Roman Reigns is now more dangerous than ever. Look what he's got in his corner. He was dangerous before his family. Now look what he has. Like, what are we doing? Like
because it's gonna bruise Roman Reigns' ego, right? Losing the championship, losing his family, getting pinned by somebody for the first time in 2 years. 2 years. It's gonna really cripple him.
And that's how it's gonna play out. He's gonna lose the belt, and then he's gonna be like looking at Jay and all that, and they're gonna walk away from him. They're just gonna kind of shake their heads and walk away from him.
It's gonna be their fault though to him.
Yeah, he's gonna blame his. He's gonna blame them. He'd be like, the mistake I made was I brought my family in who weren't on my level. But there's other people who've been at my level. And they know that they know what I can get done. And then you have even like a Braun or somebody like I fought Roman 100 times, blah, 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 and have them capitulate to him running a team. And now Roman has this heel faction of monsters. And it was like, we can't stop Roman. Like Roman is unstoppable. If he doesn't get his belt back, he's just going to ruin every show. And then you make like, who's going to stand up to the Team Reigns? They call it like, Team Reigns or something like that. Or like, like the opposite of the Bloodline or whatever.
John, it'd be the Roman Empire. That's what they'd call
it. Roman Empire. They call it the Roman Empire. It's like, he was like, the Roman Empire wasn't about family. It was about people who knew who was in charge. Like, who knew to put their faith behind. The Roman Emperor wasn't related to anybody in the sense. Yeah. Like, it's going to be like that shit. And that's what they'll do. And they'll give him big, beefy, scary people that probably are languishing. Give him Dijakovic and, or somebody like that. And like, now it's like, wow, Roman is more dangerous than, look, you can NWO it with fucking like they did with Hogan. Hogan was getting stale at that time. They wanted to turn him heel. What did they do? They gave him 2 big, scary guys to beat people up with him. And that's what you need with Roman. Like the Usos, look, I like the Usos. They're fine. They're not scary.
No.
They're not like, even Solo. Solo's a short guy. He's probably a face puncher for days. He'd probably tear me in half. But there's big, scary guys in WWE. Like there's some big, scary dudes. You know what I mean? And like some of them ain't doing shit. Like they're just not, look, the categories with me. Like some of them ain't doing anything. Like what's Osmus really doing? What's he really doing? What's Braun really doing?
Yeah. No,
what are they doing?
Yeah.
Put them together, let them stand next to Roman. It's like, we're going to kill everybody every week until Roman gets his belts back.
Yeah, you touched on something there I was thinking recently, which is there was a time not that long ago where I was thinking, like the Usos and New Day were passing the tag titles back and forth. Yeah. And every single week you'd hear Michael Cole say, both of these teams have Hall of Fame careers. And I was thinking, they don't really. All they've done is wrestle matches with they're great matches, but that's not enough for me to be a Hall of Famer. Like, you have to have had moments in wrestling to be a Hall of Famer, if you ask me. And none of them had really, like, especially the Usos at that point, hadn't had it before the Bloodline. They were putting on good matches, but they never had those moments where you went, oh, the Usos did that. Do you remember that time the Usos did this? Mm-hmm. There was never that, really. It was just good matches. And I remember thinking they're completely forgettable down the line because they haven't done anything. They're a great tag team who haven't done anything of note apart from win titles. And now, to me, they're absolutely a Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because of this storyline as well. They've all been incredible.
They did great. Yeah, but it's time to, do you guys think it's time to move on? Like, we have to start thinking.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we have to move on. And I think the problem is, like, you hit the nail on the head. There's so many people on the roster who aren't doing anything of note. They're just there treading water. They're not doing anything where in 10 years you'll think, do you remember that time Braun Strowman did this? There's nothing there, and it has to come from these stories. It's proven this. We'll all be talking about Sami still in 15 years because of this story. Roman Reigns, the Usos, Solo, Cody, we'll still be talking about them. But there's so many parts of this roster where we won't even mention them in 10 years' time.
Yeah, it's a massive roster. And also, don't forget, they call people up. You have people from NXT that they're waiting. Like, there's a bunch of guys in NXT that should probably be called up right now. Like, Carmelo should be called up. I don't know what's going on there. Like, why isn't Carmelo Hayes called up?
He's going to be wrestling Braun for the championship now.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, after last night, he's going to be going against Braun.
Oh, I didn't see last night. It was my wife's birthday. I missed last night. I should probably watch it.
Spoilers, by the way.
No, that's fine. But was it a good card?
Yeah, solid card. I didn't think there was nothing on it which was
no big surprises.
No big surprises, no. But the wrestling was solid, and I really enjoyed the main event, and I liked the Carmelo confrontation afterwards with Braun. I thought it was solid.
About that.
Yeah, really good.
I didn't know, but I didn't know that was a thing. I thought it was just for the show. I didn't realize it was like
they've made it clear now that I think it's Stand and Deliver is the next show. Okay. And I think we're looking at Carmelo, Breaker, and if it's anything to go by, I think we're going to see Carmelo as a champion at the end of it. So
and then
maybe
and then they bring up Braun Breaker. So where does he go? Like something you can't put all the chess pieces already on the board. Somebody has to come off the board.
Ron, you know where he goes. He goes to Raw, and he feuds with The Miz for 4 months. That's what you have to do.
When he lies down for Seth for while Seth is keeping Seth away from Cody.
That's it.
I don't know, Rivers. What do you think? I mean, I think there's a lot of good stuff here. I just feel like we have to start thinking about post-Mania. No Bloodline. Who's going to make TV interesting? Right?
Yeah, I often wonder like what they're going to do with Paul Heyman as well after the Bloodline.
They pull him off. You got to pull him off with everybody.
But do you not think he comes back and kind of teams up with somebody else, or do you think
comes back when Roman comes back? When I say Roman takes a break, I say 2 months, 3 months. There's no just to cleanse the palate a little bit and put some separation, between the story and get people into other storylines. I can't see a scenario where Roman doesn't show up with scary people with no pretense, go off the air on a pay-per-view with Roman walking out with. I would like it for Cross. I feel like Cross is kind of languishing right now. Sorry, I love the guy. He's a nice guy, but I think he needs a little bit of a pump up there. They still have Dijakovic. I think he may have just broke a finger somewhere. Like I showed a picture.
He did, yeah.
So, but I'm talking about in a couple months. It's a finger. He could be fine. You have Roman come out with big people that we've seen throw people around and have them just whether it's Cody, whether it's Seth, and just slap people around. And then just ruin everything, and then say like, the worst mistake everybody here could believe was that the Roman Empire fell, or something like that. It's like, and call back, well, the Roman Empire didn't fall, did it? Clearly it's not falling. Look who he's with. Like he's convinced all these people that he's still the tribal chief, and he doesn't call himself the chief anymore. He'd be like, I was the tribal chief, now I'm an emperor.
Yeah,
and this is not. You can't kill.
It'd be really cool to play on reality for a bit, like. WWE is looking to get sold, everybody knows. I'd love it if Roman just came back and said, he's so bitter about everything. He's like, he's going to burn the company to the ground before they even get a chance to sell it.
Part of it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a lot to stand on, Roman, now. It's wild. I'm a little tired of it. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little over it. I've never disliked Sami, and I've never disliked KO. So for me, it was really just getting me to get behind the Bloodline, the members of the Bloodline. But we got to move on now. Like it's like the story it has to end. This has been going on for a long time. I don't think it could get any further. I don't think emotionally we're going to see these kind of reactions anymore after Mania. We're not getting The Rock. We're not getting Austin. We're not getting CM Punk. We're not getting, I don't, maybe they signed Jay White. I don't know. Do you guys heard anything about that? Is that possible? It's possible. It's possible.
Yeah, it's possible. I'd say it's more than likely.
More than likely.
Yeah.
More than likely. It's so, but none of this means anything today, like with what we've been following,
This is out of left field, but do you think that there's any possibility whatsoever of CM Punk coming back to WWE?
My understanding is
did that really weird promo.
Yeah, it is. It was very unprovoked. That's why people thought it was real, because he talks very low. Like, I do not like that guy. I don't like that guy. Like, he was very much like a person. Could there be a long-term plan? I don't know. Like, Punk is still hurt. I highly doubt like this is on his radar. That could be the thing of all things. I mean, if he leaves like a couple of million on the table and waives a no compete clause, which is what he's been holding out for, I could see it. I don't think it's impossible. I just don't know what the motivation is to do it, unless Roman goes, look, I want a lot of time off. I want like a lot. What's the only other thing you can do? You got to throw something in there out of nowhere, right? Mm-hmm. Who's going to do it? Who's going to do it? Brock's not going to do it.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Brock's going to feud with Lashley. Like it. I'm into it. I'm excited. I hope they have good matches. I think they could do really good shit together. But then what do you do with Brock? Cody could be a lot of fun.
I was just thinking that, yeah.
Cody could be a lot of fun, guys. SummerSlam, Monster Brock versus white meat babyface Cody, clinging to life after, people not really getting behind him, and he's kind of vulnerable, and we don't really know if he's going to drop a belt, if he's going to turn heel. Cody could be fun. I mean, and then everybody's saying, everybody's saying Austin Theory is going to get a huge push after this. Like after this whole, he's going to drop this. Or Cena's going to put him over, for Mania, which he should. He absolutely should. I don't think Cena gives a shit. Cody, Austin Theory for a little bit. That could be fun. I don't know. Like, I'm torn between what I think they're going to do, which is not what I want, versus what I think would be a good idea. You know what I mean? Like, you guys go through that where it's like, because I feel like most of the stuff we talked about tonight is going to happen. Not because we want it to happen, but because we're reading between the lines and we know how they operate.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, like, so we've been around this long enough, all of us independently and collectively, to know, what happens. The night after Raw excuse me, the night after Mania has not felt great since COVID the last couple of years. Probably not since the one you were at. Maybe was that 4 years ago?
I would say that was the only good moment of that night. I'd say I've actually never been to a good Raw after Mania, and I've been to 3.
Oh wow, I've
never been to a good one. That was the only good moment from that one.
Right, but I'm saying like we haven't, like last year felt flat. It was this COVID, the year before COVID, like it hasn't really felt like anything. So they're in Hollywood, they're in LA, right? I mean, there's no Rock, there's no Austin, none of that's happening anymore. There was a possibility we were going to get some of these things. We know we're not getting any of them now. We know it's not going to be Sami main eventing, probably like in the main or whatever. So I just think I'm more curious. I'm so curious about what's going to happen. But the fact that I'm even interested is a good thing, because I struggle with their television. Like their television really bothers me. I think Raw is too long. I feel like, man, just make it 2 good engaging hours, please. Just make it 2 good engaging hours.
Yeah.
Put bullshit stuff on the internet like AEW does for some of these, lower tier people, so they have something to do. You know what I mean? Like there's too many people with just getting something to do on a TV show. It's just like, it doesn't hold my interest. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'd like to see Raw go to 2 hours. It's probably not going to go to 2 hours, but I'm excited.
You're right. Definitely right. It needs to be 2 hours. Nobody has the attention span for 3 hours anymore.
Well, you know how hard it is. It's hard to book 3 hours, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, they don't have the good enough people. I don't think they have strong enough performers. And, they did put a lot into SmackDown with Roman. Like that kind of became Roman's show. Because it's, it's a primetime show, you know what I mean? It's on primetime television, and I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. I really don't. I still think the company's getting sold before the end of the year. So, maybe they won't make any crazy things. They'll kind of stay the course as much as possible, but it's exciting. I mean, I enjoyed some of the Rumble. I thought overall could have been a lot better. I've liked previous Rumbles before, but I'm excited to see what's going to happen now that we know we're not getting The Rock versus Roman, or Stone Cold versus Brock, or Stone Cold versus, like, none of that's happening. Now you have to focus on who's on our roster, who's on our TV show, and what are we doing after Mania.
Speaking of who's on our TV show and who's not, I just want to quickly say Jamie's just messaged me. He said, "Tell John I love him and book him in for Mania."
So, John, you want to come on for Mania? Yes, Jamie, I would love to come on for Mania. That would be
he said, "Great, I can't wait to bail on Mania as well."
But he has to wear a giant. He has to wear a giant wig, like maybe like one of the what you guys wear in your parliament or something. One of those.
Oh yeah, the lawyer.
Yeah, like I said, I know when I used to watch Pink Floyd The Wall, I used to always wonder what that wig, the wig was. What do they call those? There's got to be a name for. How do you guys know? You guys are British. How the hell do you guys not know the name of them?
Oh, we don't know. I just call them wigs.
They're just called wigs?
Well, that's what we call them.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, get one for me. I'll wear one for Mania. I'll wear one for Mania.
Please do.
Yeah, I would love to get one. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for Mania. I'm excited. I'm going to watch it. Clearly, we're going to talk about it. Clearly, we're not bailing on Mania anytime soon. So
no, but that's the next time we'll have you on, I believe. Mania will be the next time we get.
Yeah, and it'll be here before we know it. It's not that far away.
Not that far away.
The Raw after Mania, because the Rock isn't going to be at Mania. What if he comes out on Raw and challenges Roman to like the next year's Mania, like he did with Cena a few years back?
Oh God!
What if they do something like that?
I hated that. I hated that. I fucking see him doing it. That. I was like, why would I care? It's a whole year from now.
Year away.
But they, by the way, guys, when they did that, they really didn't have a lot going on.
No,
they just didn't have a lot of big players. They were focusing on some. They were pushing the Shield, I think, pretty hard, and the Wyatt family. But I don't think there was, if I'm remembering that correctly, right? It was Shield and the Wyatt family. But
it was Mania 28, wasn't it? Was it? 28?
Was Punk still there? Punk was gone. Punk was still there.
Still there, yeah.
Yeah, Punk was still there, but he was languishing, I think, a little bit as a heel. Yeah, that's what it was. But God, I think The Rock's done. Honestly, I think The Rock's done with this. He was even in Texas when they were in Texas, and he didn't even go to Mania. Like,
if he was coming back, this would have been for it. I think this would have been.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think so. I think so for sure. I mean, there was even some. He would have had to have been a part of that storyline, but it's great that he's not, because now you get to focus on like Sami and KO and obviously Cody and what if The Rock, like, can you imagine The Rock just interjecting himself in this and be like, what the fuck was the point of Cody? I think they would have tried to figure a way to split the belts, but it's like, well,
they'd have booed the fans would have booed The Rock. The Rock would have got booed if that was the case. Even over Sami, you know.
I know. When is elimination? I'm excited for Elimination Chamber though. I'm gonna definitely want to make sure that's something.
I think I think on the Mania show we'll probably discuss like the build up as well. We'll probably touch on the Elimination Chamber. And how we got to Mania. So hopefully, I mean, we can look back at what we predicted here.
Yes, let's see how right we were. Let's see how right we were. Let's see if Jamie shows up, more importantly.
That's definitely, I mean, out of all the things we predicted tonight, that's surefire not going to happen.
One of the things I predicted Jamie will not show up with the haircut. Doesn't have that. He's just got the same haircut. Well, he's gonna have the same haircut as me.
Well, I think we'll wrap it up there, John. We've had a good hour and 10 minutes chat. Yeah, that's a good episode. So yeah, I'll get this up and we'll get you back on for Mania, John. Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it already. We love speaking to you, John.
Oh, thank you so much. You know, I there's a decent chance, I think, for right when Mania ends. I don't know 100%, but there's a decent chance you might catch me back on Soup. Because it's a big one. Yeah, I think we talked about it at the end of the show. We were like, you know, we'll try to figure something out for the four of us, because with Kevin Castle as well.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah. So that would be, you know, a very old school thing for us to do. Maybe the Saturday night of Mania. We'll probably do that, and then I could jump on with you guys.
We'll be listening to that if that is happening.
That'd be fun. I think so. I mean, I think it's in the cards because it was brought up on the air. If you guys did hear the show we did, it was brought up. I haven't
listened to it yet because I didn't want it to.
Oh, you guys got to hear it. I do a lot of impressions. I do like.
No, I'm definitely gonna check it out, but I didn't. Want
I do my bray. I was doing my bray at 2 a.m, drunk on bourbon. While drinking Black and Tans.
But no, Wrestling Soup's hands down my favorite wrestling podcast. No offense to Ringsiders or anything like that.
Oh, it's mine too.
Wrestling Soup.
Well, you guys got to listen. You guys got to listen to when I came on. It was.
No, we'll do. I'll listen to it right now. I
was very drunk. No one noticed. I was so drunk, and it was so late. And then I hadn't done my Bray impression, I think, in like years. And then I just kept doing it. And then all these people are like, "Oh my God, I haven't heard that." And so, and I was like, "Yeah, I kind of forgot." In my mind, I'm like, "I kind of forgot how to do it." But that Bray, you guys got to listen to it. I would love to get your take on it.
Speaking of favorite podcast, John, you've got to tell us about Break the Apocalypse, of course, like we do every time.
Oh, yeah, that show. Yeah. So that's my show that I'm on every week with Shaheen and Bisho Brian. We talk a lot about movies. We talk a lot about like, we don't beat people up with politics, but we talk about just things going on in the news in the immediate media cycle. And but it's a lot of movie talk, very little wrestling talk. Almost none, actually, sometimes on the Patreon. But yeah, you can find it everywhere. It's called Break the Apocalypse. New episodes come out every Friday. And then on the Patreon, we do bonus shows. We do solo shows. We get the complete episodes. There's like hundreds and hundreds of hours on there. So you want to go to patreon.com/breaktheapp. And yeah, we're back in the saddle, regular programming and stuff like that. So it's fun. You know, I love coming on this show. I love hanging out with you guys. I love when one of you doesn't show up, so I could get heel heat on you.
That's our gimmick. That's our gimmick.
That's our gimmick. Yeah. I'm sure like three, you're like, which one do you want to do it? Is it my turn? No, I'm going to do it this time. Yeah. All right, when he comes on again, we'll do it this time. It's like this constant barrage of big timing me, which I love. But yeah, check out my the immediate recap we did in the middle of the night there with the Soup. It was a lot of fun.
Oh well, absolutely.
John,
speaking of films, did you see The Whale yet?
I loved it. I talked about it a couple episodes back. Yeah, I loved it. I wanted to see A Knock at the Cabin, but my wife just had a birthday, and I just couldn't get myself out there. And we were
saw it last night. It's good.
Yeah, it was below 5 here. Like it was with the wind chill, it was below 13.
Oh
wow!
So it was like kind of dangerous to be outside. So,
yeah, don't risk it for the film.
Yeah, it wasn't worth it. We stayed in for her birthday, and then we went out last night. So. But yeah, I love The Whale. I'm not
that it means anything, but I hope that Fraser gets the. I hope he gets the Oscar. You know, it's.
I'm thinking it's very possible. I think it's tailor made for him right now. But it's a good movie. I love Darren Aronofsky.
Me too.
He grew up like 10 minutes from my house. He literally.
Oh really?
He's from the next neighborhood over, and he's about a year or two older than me. He went.
Right.
Yeah, he went door to door in that neighborhood for his first movie, trying to get people to give him money for Pie. And I saw Pie when it was at Sundance. And I've been a fan ever since. And he's like, we love him. I mean, we absolutely love him. I love the movie. By the way, you're going to laugh, Rivers. When I saw the movie 2 weeks ago, I talked about it on Break the Apocalypse. And I said, the woman, I don't know her name. She's an Asian actress, but I would be shocked if she didn't get an Academy Award nomination. And lo and behold, she's nominated. Yeah. I mean, Have you guys seen The Menu yet?
No,
not yet. No.
You've heard of it though, right?
Yeah,
I have. Yeah.
It's Anna Taylor-Joy, and I forget who but she's in that too, and she's got a pretty good part in that woman. And there's something about this woman, like you just see her act and you go, this woman's good. Like, you know, like you ever see a movie, you're like, I don't know who this guy is, this girl is, but I'm gonna look that person up. She has that kind of. Did you feel that way, Rivers, in The Whale? She was that good.
I think she was like after Fraser. I think she was like the next best thing, really.
What did you think of the daughter? I actually thought she'd be a little stronger in that role. Like everybody talked her up.
Everyone was talking her up. I found her character quite unlikable because she was really.
You know, you guys watch Stranger Things?
Yeah.
I've seen a few episodes.
So Callum, she's the redhead girl from Stranger Things.
Oh, okay, right, yeah.
Yeah, she's young. She's a kid. I forget her name. She's very young. She's one of the youngest people on that show. But she's great. She's a cute kid.
Great actress,
Yeah, she plays Brendan Fraser's daughter, and there's only like 6 speaking parts, right? Rivers like in the whole movie.
Yeah.
So
There's
nowhere to hide. Like you got to be on your game. And like the kid, her name is Sadie Sink. She's very good in general, but like you got Brendan Fraser, like just this is his lifetime thing he's doing. You got this woman who's like not well known, but she's carrying this part, this really important part, playing the female.
You got Samantha Morton,
out of nowhere, who I think is brilliant every time I see her. She's brilliant in everything. Like she was great too. And then like, you know, you see like this kid and like she plays the daughter and it's a very important role. And maybe it's the role. I don't know. She played it like a petulant teenager, you know, unsympathetic to the bitter end though, right? The Rivers like, that was a great movie.
Yeah.
That was a great
so that very, very, very last moment, that very last shot.
Yeah, she showed some good stuff there though. But it was great. I mean, it's not for everybody. It's a downer. It's a tough. It's a tough movie to go see.
And it's based on a play, so it's set in one basically.
You can tell it's a play. You could tell it's a play.
Yeah.
I'm a big theater person. Like if I saw that on a play, I would have been like bawling. Like, you know, you're gonna laugh at me. I was at a concert last night for my kids' fundraisers for their school, for the music program. And I'm a little out of it, you know, it's Saturday night. And I'm sitting in the bleachers, 500, maybe 900 people in the bleachers, me, my wife, my wife's friend. And where it was my wife's birthday, we had a bunch of drinks, whatever, we're a little out of it. And they do a chorus thing where they sing this song, and I can't even remember the song, but it was Find Me Somebody to Love. And I'm not the biggest Queen fan. I love Queen, but you know, I've heard the song a million times. And they had each kid do a different part, like as a solo. And some of the kids was so good, and it's just like it hits you like so good. And then my wife leans over to me, and I'm actually wiping like a little tear from my eye. And my wife was like, I knew it. She was like, I knew you were gonna start crying as soon as these kids started singing. Because it's just something about it. Like I react to it. Like I'm like,
I know what you mean.
Like, you know what I mean? Like Rivers, I'm sure as a musician, like when something just hits you in front of you, you're like, I don't care if more people see it or nobody sees it, but I see it. And it's just like, you know, you want to get that. And it's like, The Whale is kind of like that. I can get people being like, oh, it's so heavy handed and it's just kind of a downer. I don't want that. But when you really engage with that kind of loss, like there's something about it. Like when you see it, it speaks to you and you're like, holy shit.
I think Brendan Fraser has the kindest eyes ever, you know, and
he's such a real person.
You know, that really sucked me in. And then
are you guys familiar with what happened to him? Like what happened
to him? How he kind of hurt his back, and you know,
the sexual assault, and then you can make a direct correlation to his career ending. And then when he tried to get people to talk about it, they were telling him because he was a man, nobody would care. And it's just like, it's just, are you kidding? You guys remember him because you guys are closer to like Shah's age and Bisho's age. You guys remember Brendan Fraser being like a big star?
Yeah.
You were growing up.
I remember Brendan Fraser in the 90s. You know, like the 90s.
Big star.
Brendan Fraser was kicking ass.
Big star. Yeah. He was in everything at one point.
Yeah. And then to just see him disappear and be like, well, what? And then you find out his health is ravaged from those movies, and he was sexually assaulted by a very powerful person.
And he got divorced from his wife, and the alimony was like $900,000 a year.
He couldn't afford it. So he just disappeared into this like self-abuse, and like it's just to see. I mean, look, we love that, and this is what we like about wrestling, right? Like we love these comeback stories. We love real people. You know, we love believable people, and that's the kind of things we like to talk about on the show is just like entertainment. That's really what it is. It's like, you know, like when something hits, it's so good, whether it's a song, whether it's a match, right? Whether it's a promo, whether it's, even like a funny video you see on the internet or an impactful video. So it's just, it's nice to be alive and have all this to take in. So check out Break the Apocalypse, and, much love to you guys. I'll be happy to come back for a Mania. We'll see how right we were.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Yes. Thank you so much for joining us again, man.
All right, guys. You have a good day. I will see you guys soon. Much love.
You too. See you soon, man. Bye.